Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Prescott and I'm here at Succinct Psychology, and today we are going to start Chapter 9, Lifespan Development. Sorry, I had a wrong slide there. From the OpenStax Psychology 2E online textbook. So let's go ahead and get started. So lifespan development studies how you change as well as how you remain the same over the course of your life. So what is lifespan development? Developmental psychologists study lifelong development across three domains. Physical development, so growth and changes in the body and brain, senses, motor skills, and health and wellness. And you have cognitive development, which is learning, attention, memory, language, thinking, reasoning, and creativity. And then psychosocial development, which are emotions, personality, and social relationships. So, normative approach. What is normal development? Normative psychologists have studied large numbers of children to determine norms, or average ages, of when most children reach specific developmental milestones. For example, crawling, walking, speaking in sentences, starting puberty. Then you have biological milestones, such as starting puberty, are universal. Everybody goes through puberty. And social milestones, such as starting school, vary across cultures. It's not all the same. So, continuous versus discontinuous development. Developmental psychologists have different views on the processes of lifespan development. So continuous development views development as a cumulative process, gradually improving on existing skills, for example, adding inches to height each year. Now, discontinuous development views development as occurring in unique stages, so specific times or ages. So here you have continuous development from infancy to adulthood. Discontinuous development is infancy, to adulthood, but you see it's not a straight line. It's not steady slope. It goes a little variable. So, is there one course of development or many? Is development universal for all children, or is it individual depending on each child's genetics and environment? So stage theories believe that the process of development is universal. So, evidence for one course. Studies show that children from all around the world reach language milestones in a similar sequence. And then evidence for many courses. Cultural differences in childcare practices, different practices can accelerate or inhibit achievement of developmental milestones. So, here we have all children across the world love to play, whether in Florida, seen here, or South Africa, seen here. Children enjoy exploring sand, sunshine, and the sea. That's universal. Next, we have the nature versus nurture, good old nature versus nurture debate. So, of course, nature is biology and genetics, and then nurture is environment and culture. So, the nature versus nurture debate considers how our personalities and traits are the result of our genetics and biological factors and how they're shaped by our environment. So, why are siblings sometimes so different? Are adopted children more like their biological or adopted parents? And is intelligence inherited? Is it shaped by our learning experiences, or is it a combination of both? These questions can be answered by looking at the interaction between both nature and nurture, usually in twin and adoption studies. Both nature and nurture are important in development, but psychologists debate the relative contributions of each. So, here we have theories of development. You have the psychosexual theory, psychosocial, cognitive, and the theory of moral development. So, going on, the psychosexual theory, which is Freud. Sigmund Freud believed that childhood experiences shape our personalities and behaviors as adults. He viewed development as discontinuous and developed stages of psychosexual development. Freud believed lack of proper nurturance and parenting during a stage could lead to a child becoming stuck/fixated in that stage. And he claimed that children's pleasure-seeking urges are focused on different erogenous zones at each of the 5 stages of development. So, you have oral, anal, phallic, latency, and genital. Continuing on, we have the psychosocial theory, Hendrickson. So, Erik Erikson emphasizes the social nature of development, and he argues that personality development takes place across the lifespan, not just in childhood, and based on his belief that social interactions affect our sense of self, so ego identity. In each stage of Erikson's theory, there's a psychosocial task that we must master in order to feel a sense of competence, and there are 8 stages total. So, here are those 8 stages of Erikson's psychosocial stages of development. So, first stage is trust versus mistrust, which is 0 to 1 years. Trust or mistrust that basic needs, such as nourishment and affection, will be met. Stage 2 is autonomy versus shame/doubt, which is 1 to 3 years, and develop a sense of independence in many tasks. 3 is initiative versus guilt. 3 to 6 years takes initiative on some activities and may develop guilt when unsuccessful or boundaries are overstepped. 4, we have industry versus inferiority. 7 to 11 years, 7 to 11, develop self-confidence and abilities when competent or sense of inferiority when not. 5, we have identity versus confusion, so 12 to 18 years, and experiment with and develop identity and roles. 6 is intimacy versus isolation, 19 to 29 years, establish intimacy and relationship with others. 7, generativity versus stagnation, 30 to 64 years, so contribute to society and be part of a family. And finally, we have 8, integrity versus despair, 65 plus, assesses and makes sense of life and meaning of contributions. So, going on, we have the cognitive theory by Piaget, I can never say his name right, Piaget. He focused on children's cognitive growth and theorized that cognitive abilities develop through specific stages. Piaget believed children develop schemata, or concepts used to categorize and interpret information to help them understand the world. When children learn new information, they adjust their schemata through assimilation and accommodation. Now, assimilation incorporates information into existing schemata, while accommodation changes schemata based on that new information. So assimilation, you're incorporating that information, and accommodation, you're changing your schemata based on the new information you received. So here we have Piaget's stages of cognitive development. So ages 0 to 2, it's the sensory motor stage, and it is the world experienced through senses and actions. Now there are some developmental issues for each of these stages. So object permanence, understanding that even if something's out of sight, it still exists, and stranger anxiety. So, your 0 to 2-year-old has trouble, that's why you give you peekaboo. They have no object permanence. Once they can't see your face, they assume it's gone. So, second stage, age 2 to 6, we have the pre-operational stage. You use words and images to represent things, but lack logical reasoning. Now, developmental issues include pretend play, egocentrism, which is unable to take the perspective of others, they can only view from their point of view, and language development. Stage 3, we have age 7 to 11, this concrete operational stage, and you understand concrete events and analogies logically, and you perform arithmetical operations. Now, issues are, conversation and mathematical transformations. And finally, we have the formal operational stage at age 12 and up. It's formal operations. You can utilize abstract thinking, and some issues include abstract logic and moral reasoning. Now we have the theory of moral reasoning here. So Lawrence Kohlberg identified 3 stages of moral development, which is learning to discern right from wrong. So at level 1, you have your pre-conventional morality. It has 2 stages. So stage 1, obedience and punishment, behavior driven by avoiding punishment. And stage 2 is individual interest, behavior driven by self-interest and rewards. Level 2 is conventional morality. We have stage 3, which is interpersonal, behavior driven by social approval, and authority, behavior driven by obeying authority and conforming to social order. And then we have level 3, which is stage 5 and 6, social contract, behavior driven by balance of social order and individual rights. And stage 6 is universal ethics, behavior driven by internal moral principles. So Kohlberg identified 3 levels of moral reasoning: pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional, each level associated with increasingly complex stages of moral development, as we just went through. Next, we have the stages of development, and we will actually go through that in the next video. Again, my name is Prescott. I'm here at PsychSyncs, the Sync Psychology, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it at least a little entertaining and educational, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.